Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Thanks for joining us for another video. An all-round Manchester United chat today. So please get involved, have your say, and we will discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. Also, apologies over the last couple of days with the lack of content. I can promise you now, we've not been sat on our backsides doing nothing at all. And on that note, check out for a video early Monday morning, because it's what you asked for. First of all, what do you take from this week? All the Manchester United news?
Yeah, the news, a lot of people aren't talking about it, but my concern from the news is Zirkzee. I was looking at the Dutch media. He played Tuesday night against Bosnia, 1-1 draw, 77 minutes he played for. And to be honest with you, the media just tore him apart. I feel for the kid. I really do feel for the kid. Come to United, it's not kicked off well. I thought to myself, international break, get a game behind you, Ruben Amorim, come back, say hello, and bang, bit of a boost. But it's turned the other way. He looked lost, they said. Just struggled to make an impact.
Might actually help now with a new head coach coming in. Seems a little bit more settled than what it was under Erik ten Hag. Is he going? Is he not going? Is he staying? That's all been sorted out now. And, you know, there's a lot of positivity there with Amorim coming in and what he can actually do and produce with some of these players. Yeah,
there's a lot of positivity around United. We know that. But Zirkzee himself, there's no positivity. The fans, a lot of fans are going in on him, piling in on him, to be honest with you. And I think it's very unfair. Zirkzee's come, scored a goal on his debut. Things haven't worked out. Listen, players take time. Some do, some don't, but Zirkzee looks as though he's one of them players. Things aren't going well for him at the moment. Yeah. And we just hope that Amorim can do something with him. But the Dutch media, I mean, there's a lot more to say about him. He didn't have one shot, not one shot in 77 minutes. And the big thing about that is when he got brought off after 77 minutes, Weghorst, and we all know who Weghorst is, was brought on to replace him. That doesn't look good on paper. So I do feel for the kid. Lack of confidence. A big lack of confidence.
The thing is, as well, he's coming over from Italy to the Premier League. That needs time to take, the adjustment, to the Premier League. And, and let's face it, when you're signing 4 or 5 players in a summer transfer window, do them 4 or 5 players always work out for a club? It's very rare when you look back in 2 or 3 years' time to say, yeah, great signings, world class, and they've made the team better. But I do believe with Zirkzee, he does need that Amorim touch where he comes in, settles him down, gives him a bit of motivation. And let's hope we do see something different from him, Zirkzee, because he's in the same boat for me. I know he's a new signing, but he's in the same boat as every other player. He's got from now until the end of the season to prove himself and his worth for Manchester United going forward under this new system Amorim's bringing in.
Yeah, I take on board 5 new players coming in. Does take time. Not everything gels straight away. I do get that. But Ruben Amorim has to do something with him. Fans, like I say, going in on him, and I do feel that it's a bit too much, to be honest. The other night when he played, a lot of fans out there have been saying, "Oh, Zirkzee, number 10 is a shoo-in for the number 10 position." He actually started the game against Bosnia as a number 10. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I, to be honest with you, though, I actually do believe he's better suited as a number 10 than an actual main focal point as a striker. That goal scorer, I don't see him as a goal scorer, but I do think he has got some attributes that would make him into a good player. Being in that number 10 role, linking up with the midfield and linking up with the forward players, the wide players, that's where I do see him in this system, what Amorim's going to be bringing in. It's just that from now until the end of the season, can he actually kick on and get some confidence? We have had players in the past, I know the defenders, but you look at Vidic when he first joined Man United, Patrice Evra, took them a while to get up to speed, and there's been others as well over the years.
Oh, no, yeah.
So let's just hope it's one of them with Zirkzee. He's coming at a bad time where it was a bit of chaos really surrounding the club, especially with the manager at the time, Ten Hag, and things will settle down now and get a bit more positivity in him.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he won't be good at a number 10 or he won't be good at a number 9. What I'm saying is, things are going wrong for him. The position a lot of fans were hoping that he might be able to adjust to is the number 10. Well, playing in your national side, played in the number 10 role, and it just didn't work out. So, that experiment didn't work. You just got to hope that Ruben Amorim knows what to do with him. He struggled, and that's all you can say about him. And that's a big worry going forward, to be honest with you.
yeah, just going to dive into the chat. Keep getting your comments and having your say in the chat. We will discuss them throughout today's video. Don't forget to smash that like button as well. Lots of positivity on our recent videos, especially with that like button. So give it a good smash. Just be careful with your telly, your phone, your tablet, that you don't break it so you can watch us in future. Dino in the chat. Cheers for your super chat.
Thank you.
He says, miss you guys. Good to see you back. I'm watching from Brooklyn in New York. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Much appreciated, mate, and everyone joining us to get involved. I did see a comment on Zirkzee. Nikos P says, the lack of support and encouragement our new 23-year-old signing Zirkzee gets is ridiculous. Have we not learnt from Evra and Vidic? Just said what I mentioned earlier on as well, mate. Yeah, exact same two names as well, thinking alike, me and you.
Yeah, I mean, the support, you've got to support him. He's a new kid, but it just seems a bit over the top, the reaction United fans are giving after so few games that he's been involved in. It's early in the season, and it does take players time to adjust. And, you know, Zirkzee looks like one of those players. You have to keep supporting him. You know, players sometimes, they join a club, they come from abroad, and it takes a year, maybe even longer sometimes, where players do kick in. You know, we need players now. And I think that might be the frustration with a lot of fans out there demanding, you've got to do it now. You've cost this much. And, you know, we need a striker. You're not good enough. And people are reacting to what they're seeing at the moment. And they're just jumping straight in with 2 feet. And I think it's a bit early for any of that with Zirkzee or any of the new players.
Yeah, Shabazz is giving a little bit of background on Zirkzee at Bologna. Says Joshua will come good. He's done the same in Italy and it took him a year. So let's hope so. But at Man United right now, we do need players to perform, especially in that striker position with goals, etc., don't we? Yeah,
of course we do. That's what we're missing. We're missing goals from strikers, and the strikers clearly aren't doing it for many, many reasons. But Zirkzee, we go back to it, looks like it, from the comment there about what he was like at Bologna, took a year in that. This just might be one of the things we have to wait for.
Over the last couple of days, I've seen lots of reports, to be honest with you, with transfers, players going out, players coming in. But one transfer here can actually get behind, and I do think there is obviously truth to it if you take yourself back to the summer, and that's Branthwaite. I do see him in a Manchester United shirt next season. I really do.
Well, my take on the talk, what's out there about Branthwaite, is any talk of Branthwaite cannot be on Ruben Amorim, because we go back about Branthwaite. That was the first player's name being mentioned last summer.
Yeah.
And I actually thought we're going to get him. He wanted to come by all accounts, and I thought we were going to get him, but things went a little bit pear-shaped. So this really, when you look, and you've got to look at the strategy, the transfer strategy. If this talk about Branthwaite is coming back and it gets legs, and it seems to have a lot of legs at the moment, but it's not the manager, is it? It's not the manager. It wasn't Erik ten Hag then what was getting him. It was the men in suits what wanted him. Because if they want him now, okay, it has to be the suits in charge what want him and not Ruben Amorim, because there's no way Ruben Amorim knows anything about Jarrad Branthwaite.
No, but I do agree with that. I get that, but yeah. I do agree with that process, though, of like the likes of your sporting director, your recruitment team, your technical director as well, making them decisions on transfers, because I don't want to keep going on after 3 or 4 years, which has been the norm at Manchester United, of then sacking a manager and then it's another rebuild, another process. They should have already an identity at the club in a playing style, so then another manager just comes in and it's not another 3-year process, because that's been doing my head in for the last decade, that constantly hearing the same thing over and over again.
No, but what I'm alluding to, I do understand fully what you're saying. What I'm alluding to is, you know, everyone was talking, we've had debates, me and you, Kieron, Webby, people out there have been debating about who's in charge of the transfers. And, you know, sometimes I think I might have got it wrong about who's in charge of the transfers, just like many people out there. You know, he's got the final say. Erik ten Hag, that's what we was all saying. And they were quick to identify Branthwaite. And it looks as though the men in suits are the people what have identified Branthwaite, and Erik ten Hag was going to have to suck it up. So it puts into perspective, like, who really bought all these players this summer? Were they anything to do with Erik ten Hag, the way we're seeing this Branthwaite being talked about now. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see really what happens with Ruben Amorim and his recruitment, and if it is down to him, because it's a big thing and could cause a little bit of friction in the future. That's how I see it. But Ruben Amorim's been brought in. Apparently, he's on board.
Do you think behind the scenes they actually fancy Martinez? You know, we've talked about Branthwaite. I think most of us out there would agree he would be playing in Martinez's position if he comes to Manchester United. Do you see him as a backup, though, to Martinez?
No, what I see is if you look at Manchester United, the history and everything, or any winning side, you've got two top-class players in every position.
Challenging it, fighting it out.
Fighting it out. And that is the way it should be. So Martinez, really, when you look at it, he's a shoo-in, because there's no opposition, there's no one challenging him, and I think it's right. And it's Manchester United Football Club. This, it's Manchester United, biggest club in the world. We should have two top-class players for each position. Just
like when we had 4 forwards: Solskjaer, Dwight York, Cole, Sheringham, etc.
Correct. We had like tenfold of midfield players who were all capable of starting, which we've seen over the years. So getting in Branthwaite now, I don't see it as a threat or any way of anyone sort of seeing, oh, they don't really fancy Martinez, they want Branthwaite in front of him. I don't see it that. I see two players, right, capable for fighting for that spot, and that's what you want. You want a challenge. Listen, we want to win things, so you have to have players fighting for the position, and I think this could be a great introduction. Branthwaite, I like the kid.
Yeah, no, I do actually. I think he's got huge potential. Shabazz says, we need to protect our manager. They will hound him down at the first opportunity. Let's all be united.
Well, that's to be expected, isn't it?
The good thing is, though, about Amorim, what you've heard in the press conferences, especially that interview, was it last Friday?
Yeah.
He's relaxed.
Yeah.
Smiling.
Yeah.
But then again, though, a lot of managers do walk into the door like that. 2 years later, it looks like they've aged 10 years, like we've mentioned.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it, didn't I? You know, you look at Mourinho and that, and you look at Solskjaer, and you look at Erik ten Hag, pictures of when they come in, and at the end, when they were sacked, they just looked dead men inside. There was nothing left, nothing to give. They
look broken men.
Yeah, they look broken men. I don't see this happening to Amorim, because I did mention it last week, to be honest with you. Amorim himself doesn't give that many interviews. You know, we was talking to the Portuguese reporter who knew him, and he explained things. And yes, he'll be giving press conferences after the match and before, but really he won't be going out there to all the legacy media and speaking to them like we've seen with all our managers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to go into what Fabrizio Romano said this morning as well, to do with transfers. And he said, Man United want to sign a new left-back for Amorim's system in 2025. It's already planned. The club is already assessing options with more than 3 candidates in the list. It only remains to be seen whether it's going to happen in January or the summer transfer window. Now, in Amorim's system, is there really a left-back? Would you say it's like a left-winger?
I'm not sure. We look at our left-back position. We've all talked about it. You know, Luke Shaw, he's going. You know, that fitness and everything, and the amount of times he plays, can't rely on him. People call him Deadwood, and quite right, to be honest with you. He's not got a future at Manchester United. Yes, Malassi is there. So, left back, yeah, it's there. We need 2 good left backs. Is Malassi that good? He's got to kick on this year. He's had a bad year. But going out, getting a left back, I think we've all discussed that we need a left back. I think for me personally, like from what we're here now, towards the end of November, you know, Luke Shaw, Malassi, they're there or thereabouts where they should be returning to the first team squad in a match day. And I think it'll be assessed over the next month, you know, in December, January, to see if they do break down again, if they have any recurrence of the injuries, especially with Malassi. Luke Shaw just seems to always get muscle injuries, so he's out with different muscle injuries over the course of the season. But I have seen another name linked to Man United, and that's the Bayern Munich left-back, that Alphonso Davies. I'd love him here at Manchester United. From what I'm seeing as well, his contract's up in the summer, so they can talk to him and sort something out in January. I think that'd be a great buy, me. Yeah, there's always a possibility. Anyone who's on a free transfer and that, yeah, you've got to look at it. You've got to get the value for money. That's what Ineos will be looking at. So value for money, can we get him?
Loves a bit of that as well, just a Jim Ratcliffe, don't he? bit of value for money, bit of cost cutting. Won't have anyone walking around with their hands in the pockets.
No, he won't. He won't have that. I go back to the left back position. We was talking about Branthwaite and Martinez, 2 players fighting for the position. Well, there's no one really fighting for that left back position. I think if you look at it, Malacia is resigned to being second fiddle at the moment. If they're both fit, Shaw's in there, but you have to have a new left back in there. And people talk about, well, do we need another left back? Because Amorim might be playing a different system and all that.
Well, it doesn't fit in a left back, does it? With that free in defence,
no.
It's more or less a wing back in it on that left hand side and the right hand side.
I know that, but
and just a question for you out there: if Luke Shaw and Malacia aren't available out of the current squad, who would you have on that left wing back role?
Yeah, but I go back to this. What Amorim said, he will have to adapt. You know, this is the Premier League.
True.
Right? His tactics, what he's set up on, might not work and be the right system over here in the Premier League. When you play the Premier League, when you're playing away, it's a different type of tactic sometimes. You play at home, we'll be playing counter-attack. Who knows what's going on? But he said he will adapt. So you will need left-backs. People out there might be saying, no, he's going to play this. You don't know what he's going to play, okay? He's not faced the Premier League. He's not qualified yet, and it's an experiment for him, and he will be experimenting. He sort of alluded to that. I will be adapting. Well, to me, that's experimenting, and he has to experiment. But what you do need is 2 men in each position. So a left back has to be nailed on. I've said it for a long time.
Well, for me, it just cuts out the conversation about a left back, left wing back, left winger. Just go and get Alphonso Davies. He can play the wing back position, left back position, and that's the problem solved. If he ever does need to go to a back 4, back 3, and I'm sure there is going to be a few changes as of when it's needed, depending on the opposition. Got some big games coming up as well in December, so it's going to be there or thereabout. Well, it's going to be close for him to make these big calls and decisions of whether he sticks with his system, what he's been used to at Sporting, or he does adapt when needed.
Well, I look at Amorim, the next 10 games are massive for him. It's massive for the club, because after the 10 games, we'll be clear in Europe, in cup games, and in the Premier League where we are, and we need to be in a position. So the next 10 games, really, Amorim's got to find his feet. He's got to get the right balance for this team. And I think it'd be very, very difficult for him, but we've got to stick with it, right? And just accept where we are, okay? Whether it goes pear-shaped or whether we are if we're in a good position, I mean, that's fantastic. You know, I'm not too hopeful, right? I don't want to get too hopeful on it. I'm really excited for the game coming up on Sunday. But position-wise, I'm not too hopeful, because I do see pitfalls coming down the line.
Paul Haggerty doing my job. Smash the like, lads. I'll smash the like button if everyone else does out there as well.
Thank you.
I did see a couple of comments as well just coming through about the left-back, wing-back position. Harry Amas, the young kid at Manchester United, and it's something that you'd expect from Amorim compared to what he'd done at Sporting Lisbon. I think he promoted 27 of the youth players at Sporting to the first team, whereas I think Erik ten Hag in total promoted roughly about 7 players in his time. So it's a huge, huge difference where he's had to focus on youth, but they've obviously, there's different budgets involved, different clubs, the size of him, etc. So he's been able to do that at Sporting Lisbon, because it's more or less, they will sell some of the bigger name stars when money does come through. So he's had to rely on youth over there, but it's a good thing to know that the manager will do that. And I do expect him to do that in the next couple of years, promote some of these youth players. Yeah,
he will promote youth players. That's what he's here for. That's what Ineos wants. Jim Ratcliffe has talked about it loads of times. But when you talk about Amas, conversations I've had a couple, to be honest with you. Not the standard. That's the conversation. They don't think is the standard for Manchester United first team. I thought.
You mean right now?
Yeah, at the moment, I don't think he's going to get elevated to the squad, into the first team. I thought he was a shoo-in for being in the squad minimum at the start of the season. But it just seems to have gone backwards for him. And I think there's 1 or 2 issues with people looking at him and thinking he's not good enough. I think he's going backwards, to be honest with you. But let's hope he doesn't. Let's hope I'm wrong. It's just a conversation I've had a couple of times.
You've got to understand, though, that conversation as well has probably been had, from what I know, of when Erik ten Hag was there. Again, New manager comes in, fresh face, fresh ideas, might like him in his system that he wants to play. And we do need competition in that left-back area because, like I said, if Luke Shaw and Malacia don't return and start playing a consistent number of games, we're going to be in trouble again. And for me, Delo on the left-hand side or Mazraoui, for me, doesn't work. You know, I've seen some people out there saying Garnacho in that left-back spot, you know, wing-back spot, for me, doesn't work for me, that Garnacho.
Yeah, but
He's got the work rate, etc. But defensively, I'd like to see him a little bit further forward, me, Garnacho, than playing that sort of left wing-back spot.
Yeah. Well, before I go on to Garnacho, I'll go back to Hamas. You know, when a young player is like taking them steps and he keeps going forward, and he was like on the verge, as we see it, that getting into the squad for this season. Sometimes when you've got young players like that and they take a career halt and then suddenly it sort of goes backwards, it does affect young kids, and I just hope it doesn't.
Sure.
So that's the thing we should all look out for, Hamas, that he doesn't keep going backwards. He has to come back. Whatever the issues were, I don't know the issues, but I know there's a couple of issues, a couple of people, conversation, that they don't think he's going to take that step. Something's happened. So let's just see. So with a young kid, you have to be very careful with him and hope that they don't fall too far back.
Yeah, the thing is with United as well, you look, not even like recent years, you know, from me being a kid, you know, we've always had a tendency as well to hype up a lot of the younger players in the youth teams, etc.
You're still a kid to me.
Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
I actually appreciate that. Actually, no, I don't appreciate that. I'm not a kid. I'm a grown-up now, Dad.
Took in time to cotton on to that one, didn't
I'm
it?
a grown-up now. I'm an adult. I can make adult decisions.
Yeah, now you're getting it.
But yeah, we've always had a tendency to like hype up the younger players, and it don't always work out. I mean, it's only ever like 1% out of 10 that you ever see really in the first team who step out on the Old Trafford pitch as well. So we've got to be careful in what players we do hype up, because it might just not happen. Because I do see it online as well, where certain players, they're not given that opportunity and they're jumping straight on the manager. Why is he not giving this player at the time? Why is he not giving him minutes, etc.? Why is he giving him minutes when he's had 5 years to prove himself?
Yeah, well, you know, you talk about young players and that, and you mentioned Garnacho before. Garnacho concerns me, to be honest with you. He's not changed from keeping the ball, not getting his head up, not getting that passing when it should be, not scoring, not hitting the net. There's something, you know, not quite right there. He's not developing.
I don't agree with that.
Let me finish. I don't think he's developing from what he did last year. I don't think he's improved. Maybe that's the malaise, what was inside the club. Yes, he's got plenty of chance to get better. I think he should be better. I think he should be taking more people on, getting past them and putting the right ball in. That's what's missing. Yes, he was doing good football last year, but I was expecting more. Now, I look at him. He played for Paraguay, came on the other night.
Played against Paraguay, yeah.
Yeah, played against Paraguay, came on with 26 minutes to go, got beat 2-1, but they were getting beat 2-1 when they come on. Didn't really do too much. Left on the bench for Peru again on Tuesday night, so he never got on. But his manager spoke highly of him. You know, the Argentinian manager spoke highly of him. He's the future and all that. And I expect him to be the future. I just haven't seen an improvement on the scale of what he was last year.
Yeah, but
and I expected that. And I've not seen it yet.
I know you're talking about Garnacho there, but you look at any of the players who, let's just say, Eric Ten Hag has signed or been involved in the squad in the last 2 years under Eric Ten Hag. Has any of them improved?
No.
Well, I would. I'd say Garnacho. Garnacho's improved. This season, it's been all over the place. It's been chaos. But with Garnacho, he does try and give you something every single match. He'll try and do his best every single match. And what you got to look at with a lot of these younger players these days, with the social media hype, you know, the brands, etc., they want to be on the back pages every single week. They want to be talked about. And I don't buy this when people say, stop putting pressure on these young kids. These young kids want the pressure. You know, the likes of Garnacho, they want to be the stars. They want to be the ones talked about winning Manchester United, the matches. But some of the things that he's been doing this season, he's not looking up in the right moments. You know, his chin's too much on his chest, looking down. But he's a young kid, and with a right coach with him, coaching him, I think that he will actually improve and he'll kick on me. I think he's got a high ceiling, me, Garnacho. I really do, under the right manager.
I've said that I expect him to improve under this manager. I expect him to get his head up. That's what we want. What I'm saying is, and I didn't say that he didn't try last year. Of course he tried last year. He was really good last year. He's doing the same thing, but we need that little bit extra. And you're right. Who else is doing it in the team? No one. We expect all the players to improve. That's what I expected from this summer, bringing in players and the mood round the camp. But it went the other way. What I'm saying is Garnacho now needs to raise it, and so do all the other players. I was only mentioning Garnacho because you mentioned him before, so I brought him into my conversation that I thought, right, he just needs to improve and get better. Well, the manager's in place now. The coaches are there. The old system has gone. Erik ten Hag, the coaches, what was under him, they've all gone. Whatever was going on didn't improve these players over the summer and the start of this season. And Garnacho, we expect a lot of him. And I think he expects a lot from himself. He wants to fight for it. They want it, like you say. They want the fight. They're looking forward to it.
The younger players, we've been heavily relying on them. For me, in the last 12, 18 months, and way too much as well, considering the experience that you've actually got in that squad. A lot of them been getting injured, can't count on them consistently, week in, week out. When the older heads do come in, do they perform? No, they don't. And it's a lot of the younger players, like your Kobbie Mainoo, your Ahmad, your Hoyland, your Garnacho, we're constantly relying on to do things in games, and they're still learning the game as well. You know, as young kids, we know, well, they should know what's expected of them when they pull on that Manchester United shirt and what the fans demand of them, but they're still young kids. And like I say, for me, it's all about the manager and how they coach him. And I think this manager, our head coach, is a top coach, and he will get the best out of these young players. And furthermore, they'll enjoy playing for him. I think all the players will. Well, not all of them, but the majority of players in that squad will enjoy playing for Amorim. And that's the most important thing, because I don't think a lot of them players in that squad enjoy playing for Erik ten Hag, especially in the last 6 months.
Oh, listen, you could clearly see that. And, you know, you look at it, and I'm in full agreement that every player will look forward to being with Ruben Amorim. And most of all, I think Garnacho will. I'm just saying, I haven't seen an improvement. I am not calling him. None of the players have improved as far as I'm concerned. There's been a bad attitude round there. You know, I'll look recently this week at comments. You know, Erik ten Hag went, I don't think Casemiro bid him farewell, but he's welcomed in the new manager. So, you know, there is a lot of bitterness out there. And in that camp, their heads were down. And when they were on the pitch, a lot of the time this year, people like Garnacho not doing the right thing because they kept their head down. Let's get their head up now. And I think Ruben Amorim is the right coach to come in now. The man likes a laugh. The man likes fun. And that's what you need in life.
That's what he said to the players already, didn't it? Was it his first day walking around Carrington? Guys, we need to have fun.
Yep.
So as fans, we should expect that. Whether we should expect that straight away is another story. I'd just like to thank Ray Stone for gifting 5 memberships. The 5 people who got them memberships. Give Ray the legend a huge thank you.
Thank you.
Anything to add, though, before we go?
Yeah, I just think, you know, with Ruben Amorim here, with Zirkzee, because I think it is a big problem. How he deals with it, I don't know. How he gets him playing, what position he plays in. Yes, we've got to look at it in the summer. If you don't get Hoyland, if he doesn't get Hoyland and Zirkzee scoring goals, then I think there's going to be a casualty. And because United have to act, they have to have a striker what's scoring. We've got to. You've got to hope that Ruben Amorim gets these 2 strikers scoring. And if Zirkzee doesn't shape himself, he might just miss the boat, because we can't wait. And I don't think, when you look at it, the suits in Old Trafford and the coach here are going to wait too long. So I think when you look at it in reality, end of the season, I think we'll all know what's going to happen with the strikers. I wish them well. I think it's tough. They're young, but you have to back them and you have to get behind them. But the pressure's on them. But then, you know, they should drive it. They're at Manchester United. They're at Manchester United. That's what it's all about. Pressure. Every day is pressure. So they should just crack on with it, and let's see where it ends up.
It's all over the club, the history, what's expected of them, the education when they first walk through the door at Manchester United, and they should thrive on it. And I do think this manager will go back to it. Will give them that motivation, the players, to go out there and have fun. And if they have fun, us as fans should have fun as well. But also, you mentioned about the strikers scoring goals. I think the bigger job is, actually getting the other players to supply the strikers and service the strikers so they're in them goal-scoring opportunities as well. So there's a lot of things to fix here on the pitch at Manchester United, but I do expect him to do it.
But the strikers, there is a problem. We know there's a big problem. And you just mentioned other players need to give him the service and all that. But these two strikers, what we've got, cannot play with their back to goal. Okay, so Ruben Amorim has to coach these players and get a style of football where they're running onto the ball. That's what these two strikers need. When they've got the back to the goal, the opposition goal, right, nothing comes of it. Both of them tend to lose the possession of the ball and all that, and then an attack breaks down. So there has to be a fundamental change in the approach in how we are going to score goals, and I can't wait to see what develops.
You could add, even with the striker with the back to goal, then the wide players, the midfielders, and then getting beyond then the striker with the knockdowns, winning the second balls when the striker does win that. But there's always to look at it. As ever, we'd like to know your opinions on today's chat. Have your say in the comment section below, and please smash a like on today's video. It does help us, the channel, and today's video, and you know it's much appreciated from us when we do ask you. We'll be back tomorrow with another live chat. I think Amorim's doing his press conference round about 2 o'clock, so we'll probably do a reaction to his press conference. So come and join us, have your say again, and you take care, and we'll see you again soon. Much love, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.